Hi, it's Leela, the proud poly kinky queer slut. Today's question actually came from a post that was pretty negative about one of my videos that I put up. And I'm paraphrasing here to get to the meat of the point because I think there's an interesting point here. And so it's the majority of us don't make what gets us off the centerpiece of our entire personality. And quite frankly, doing this is pretty degrading behavior. So I'm curious about this, and I find this interesting and something to talk about. This notion that it is degrading behavior to make what you're attracted to, and I'm not going to say the centerpiece of your personality, because certainly, being the proud poly kinky queer slut is not the centerpiece of my personality. It is an important way that I identify. All of those things are important things about me. But, there are a lot of other things about me too, obviously. And most of us who are speaking out about these things, we're being more open about this, but it's not like it's all we are. But I do think there is a nugget here that's really worth considering. And that is it degrading or in some way, offend or treating people with disrespect to make to be vocal and out loud and owning your sexual identity as a core part of your personality. So as opposed to, like, say, a musician being like, yeah, playing my guitar is a cornerstone of how I define me. And I'm saying I'm a slut, and that is part of how I define me. Is that degrading to people? And here's my answer. I am very curious to hear what others think about this, because I do think that it is something that could use some active dialogue. But to me, it's not degrading. But that's because I don't think sex is degrading. I don't think that sexualization is degrading. And I am certainly not making sex objects of people who do not want to be sexually viewed. So, I'm dating in communities that are sex positive, where people are talking about being proud sluts. I am engaging with, and when you're talking about my actual romantic life, my actual sexual life, the people I'm approaching with this are, the objects of my attention are people who want to be objects of that attention. And frankly, I find it very off-putting and not sexy, and I'm not at all interested in flirting with or hitting on or making anyone a sexual object who doesn't want to engage with me in that way. But I do think that there probably is a difference of opinion about this. And I am a megasexual. I am highly sexual. And for me, my sexuality feels like a big part of my identity. And it feels like a big part of my expression and my art forms and my outer expression. But a lot of people have different experiences with these things. So I'm just really curious what you all think. And please feel free to comment as much as you'd like on this. I'm really, really curious what you think in terms of, is it degrading to have sex be a centerpiece? And if so, why? Why is that degrading? How is that degrading? Because I think that there are some nuggets in here that can really help us unpack why people think that sex is degrading and what people think is degrading about sexuality. And, I'm minded of creeps, of the idea of the creepy people treating people sexually when they don't want to be treated sexually, or in times and places where it's not appropriate. For example, I firmly believe that in most workplaces, sexuality is not appropriate. Boss should not be hitting on secretary. So is that the degrading piece, that you're that if you're slutty, you're looking at people sexually when they might not want to? I'm confused by this, and I would really like to hear what other people think about this idea. So posing it to the group, is it degrading to make sexuality a centerpiece of your identity? What do you guys all think about that? If so, how and why? And I'm curious what's going to come back, and I would love to do some follow-up videos on it when we do get responses. So thanks very much. I appreciate you listening. I look forward to seeing your comments. This is Leela, the proud poly kinky queer slut. Remember, you can ask me anything, and have a great day.